Welcome back to our channel, Clear Value Tax. My name is Brian Kim. I'm a certified public accountant, and in today's video, we will be discussing the S Corp payroll setup. So this will not be a video about determining what should your salary be versus your distributions and the tax savings associated with that. That's a separate video. This video will be about the payroll setup for the S Corp. So let's begin by just saying that now that you have an S Corp, you will be an employee of your corporation. So you will be an employee shareholder. So because you're an employee, you need to run a payroll on yourself. Okay, so let's just say that I highly recommend going with the software to run your payroll functions, because you can do all the payroll paperwork and tax deposits yourself manually on PDFs for doing the payroll reporting to all the government agencies and the tax deposits. However, having a software just simplifies your life so much, and the prices are very reasonable. So if you wanted to do it yourself manually, this is what it would entail. Let's just say that, okay, you are an employee of your corporation, your S Corp. So then you need to do monthly tax deposits. Well, if you're going to be paying yourself monthly, which you generally would be, you need to do monthly tax deposits for your employee withholdings. So that's a monthly thing that you need to do. And also, you need to fill out the quarterly reports, and you need to be sending those in, the quarterly reports, to the IRS, to your Department of Revenue with the state, to unemployment, so state unemployment reporting. So that's every 3 months. You're going to be filling in PDFs. It's going to be so time consuming. The softwares, they take care of all of this for you automatically, just based off your payroll, what you're running. It just automatically generates those reports. And it's simple as just clicking a button, and then your taxes, your tax deposits get e-paid electronically. So the reports, they also get generated automatically, and they get e-filed automatically. All you need to do is just click submit, or just have it on autopilot. So this eliminates the need for you to manually be sending in those tax deposits on a monthly basis. And also, it just eliminates the need for you to be filling out those PDFs and sending those in to those 3 agencies on a quarterly basis. So if you want to do that, I mean, be my guest, but I'm telling you, it's just so worth it to choose a payroll provider, a cloud-based payroll service, and have them take care of all those things for you just automatically. So let's just go to the actual setup. So before you go to the actual setup of the payroll, you need to get your registrations done with your state. That's the Department of Revenue. So what do I mean by that? Let's just say, okay, there's some states where there's no state taxes. So you would not be holding state taxes as the employee nor as the employer. So even if that's the case, you still have the state unemployment tax reporting obligation and payment obligations. So you still need to complete your state registration setup with the Department of Revenue or unemployment or both, so that you can have those account numbers and those tax rates linked up to your payroll software, whichever provider that may be. Without that, without the registrations with the state, your payroll setup will be incomplete. A lot of times they won't even let you progress. So you need to have those ready. It would be better if you did that beforehand, so that when you're going through the payroll setup process with whichever provider, you can just take care of everything and have it set up fully and completely at that point in time, rather than having to backtrack and just have your registration with your payroll just not finished, of course. So that would be my recommendation. Get your state registrations done before the actual payroll setup. So once you have that, you need to choose your software. The most popular softwares out there would be the Quickbooks Online Payroll, the Quickbooks Payroll, or Gusto. So that is what I typically see for my S Corp clients. So these, you just need to make sure that you don't choose the very cheapest option that does not allow you to do the e-payment methods for the tax deposits, nor the e-filing methods for the reports. Because, I mean, that's one of the biggest beauties of having these software providers, because they just take care of those reports and send them off with just a click of a button, just instantaneously. If you need to print those, sign those, snail mail those in, I mean, that just eliminates so much of the benefits. So just make sure you choose the option where it offers the e-payment option and the e-filing option, because those are obligations that you need to do along with your payroll. Okay, so when you are setting up your software for your payroll, whichever provider that may be, Gusto, QuickBooks, or any other, I mean, they're going to be pretty much asking you the same questions. They're going to be asking you, what's your salary going to be? And again, please check out my video about how to determine what your salary should be for maximizing your tax savings. They're going to be asking you, what's the frequency of your payroll? So how often do you want to pay yourself? My recommendation, if it's just going to be you as the only employee of your S Corp, it's to run a monthly payroll, because you don't want to be going into the software if you do bi-monthly or bi-weekly. I mean, you don't want to be going into the software twice a month to run the payroll on yourself. You might as well just do monthly, so that you can just do a payroll just once a month. It's going to be half. It's going to reduce your workload. There's not going to be much work to do running the payroll on yourself. But again, it's just going to be doing it once a month versus twice a month, and it's going to be the same thing. There's no benefit of running it twice a month or bi-weekly. So that's the frequency. That's my recommendation on the frequency of the pay to yourself. And then they're going to be asking you just the basic questions about the employer data, employer EIN, employer bank account, employer address, all that. And they're going to be asking the employee data. What's your bank account, what's your personal address, all that. So when you run the payroll, it's going to be a shifting of the funds from the employer bank account to your personal bank account, because you are acting as a legitimate employee of the corporation. So you're going to be no different than any other employee at any other employer. So you're actually going to for best practices, the movement of the salary going from your employer business account, your business bank account, to your employee, to your personal bank account. So you're going to be seeing the shifting of the funds, the movement of the funds, as if you were an employee of your own corporation, which you are. So whether it's QuickBooks or Gusto or any other payroll provider, third party, Paychex or ADP, they're all going to be asking you the same questions. So it's just a matter of how much hand-holding that you want, and also about the pricing. So generally, Gusto is going to be cheaper than QuickBooks, because QuickBooks is the biggest name brand out there. And even within QuickBooks, they're going to be asking you for the lowest version, the mid-tier version, or the most expensive version. I mean, it depends on what point in time that you're watching this video, but generally you're going to be wanting to select the middle option that is not the most expensive, but it's not the cheapest, because that's going to give you everything that you need without all the bells and whistles. So if you want everything just completely done for you and you just do not want to be involved whatsoever, I mean, some of those people will go to the full service Paychex or ADP, but they're going to be much more costly. So the good thing about the Gusto or the QuickBooks is that they allow the accountant sharing access. So if you are working with accountants, they can have their own login and they can look at your accounts to see that it's set up properly, payroll's running properly, the reports are being filed, everything looks good. Okay, how much is this software going to cost you? So if you're going to choose Gusto or QuickBooks, I mean, generally that's going to be running you about $25 a month to $50 a month, just depending on the service plan. If you choose the more expensive options, other payroll providers, they could be charging you as much as $100 a month, just for you, one employee, for your employee S Corp obligations, the payroll, the basic payroll functions and duties. So it just depends on the service plan you want, but you should be expecting to pay about $25 to $50 a month. And again, if you think about it, that's going to eliminate the whole need for you to be manually doing all these things by yourself, the tax deposits to the IRS, to the state, to unemployment, and filling out those reports and sending those in quarterly, W-2 creation and all that. I mean, it's just a huge, time saver and it's most likely in most cases going to be, worth it for you. So I hope all this makes sense, but if you have any questions, please leave them below. Please leave it in comments below. We'd be happy to get back to you. And again, if you are looking for more details about a particular topic about the S Corp payroll or the S Corp salary or just the S Corp in general, then please check out our other videos. I hope you found this helpful. If you found this helpful, please give me a like. I'd highly appreciate that. And please subscribe because we're always making great videos that are applicable to you. Take care.